The following is a presentation of Morning Drive Media.
Broadcasting from beautiful Burbank, California, this is the Napzok Files in session, a podcast recorded live in front of a select audience on a unlisted YouTube link that you get from patreon.com/catnapzok. I think it sounds more difficult than it is. Maybe it's pretty difficult. I don't know. Maybe it's knock 3 times on the ceiling if you wanna. But happy to be there and be here with my good friends from Patreon. So here's the deal. I got some questions pre-selected, and I'm going to take some questions live from the audience. Some of you might already be familiar with the details. That's how it works. And if you're watching me live, you know, it's like when you went to the mall and they had a radio station in the mall as a kid, and then you got to see the disc jockey spin the tunes, and you stared at him through a window like you were at a zoo, a disc jockey zoo. That's what this is about here today. Got some people checking in live, like Zach Anderson says hello there. We got Tamor from House Buddha. He's there's well. Old Handsaw is in chat. Star Wars Alice is here as well. We're having a lot of fun. I will also release this to the public on YouTube. It's just kind of, I don't know, not my favorite thing. It's not my favorite thing to do, but we're doing this. If you're also watching live, I don't know why I've got a preamble to the show today. It's super long, super stupid long. I might be live on YouTube, unlisted, taking a break, and then I'll switch files so I can have a break on the actual audio podcast. This came together last minute. Usually there's a little more prep in this show. But last minute, an episode I had planned for this week didn't happen. Some tech issues, which is what happens when you sometimes record live out by a fire pit with your neighbors working on a car in the backyard that you don't really pick up on the recording when you're doing it, but later on you find silliness. So I decided to put together this episode of TNF in session, but we try to do this once a month anyways. It's one of the big things that I hope to put you in on my Patreon page, and more things coming on that. I got to get back to do Why We Love Star Wars, the exclusive YouTube show that I build exclusively through Patreon as well. A lot of things to do, it's including I got to renew my driver's license. And actually, my driver's license expired a long time ago, but we're all on lockdown. Literally, one of the last things I tried to do before we all went on lockdown is make an appointment to go get my driver's license renewed, because I had to go in. It's been like 32 years since I went into the DMV to renew my driver's license, or, let's get that real ID, because you want to fly around the country even come October. And I went to do that. I tried to pull, and they had the word, the DMV. There was like a week before the lockdown, right? Before we all this is actually, we're staying inside. And the DMV was like, no appointments. And so now I have to do this with a mask on, I guess. Can that be my picture? I wouldn't mind that. Wear a mask. I got my hair cut today and beard trimmed. Now I could trim my beard on my own, but my hair guy, I have a hair guy. He does it really well. And, I was growing out a nice quarantine beard, just because I would have done that anyways. It was an excuse, right? When people looked at my beard and went, whoa, it's quarantine beard, huh? That's pretty funny. I would have done it anyway, let's be honest. But the word came down from management. Gave Grace a nice kiss after my morning coffee, and brushed my teeth. Don't worry. I took a sip of coffee, gave her a kiss. She was like, it's like kissing a wet broom. She loves big bushy beard there on my face, but got to go trim it up. So I went to do that today. And a lot of people in live chat are kissing my butt. Tamor saying I'm looking great. I really don't. Alice says Ken is all trimmed up. Yes, he is. He is all trimmed up. But, I was a little trepidatious, man. I'm not convinced. We'll get to some questions in a second. I want to take some live audience questions too, but I'm not, I am overcautious on this whole pandemic situation. And it's one of those, I'll err on the side of caution. And I wasn't always that. And I think that's a sign of, I'm not saying I'm smart, but it's a sign of something where you can kind of adjust your thinking along the way based on new facts or new revelations or new thoughts, even with some of the stuff going on with social justice situations in the world right now, Black Lives Matter, or the speaking out movement that was kind of exploding this weekend. New information can arise, and that can cause you to change your opinion on a situation or a person, and you should allow for that in your life. When this lockdown started, I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna buckle down. Don't panic. Now, I always think don't panic. You guys hear me say that a lot, not just because it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing, but just like, don't panic. Panic is never good. It's never good. But I was like, we'll be good. We'll be good. Some people around me have got this. Some people around me have suffered loss from this. It's just a lot of upheaval in the world, and I don't trust going back. I just don't trust going back. And I started hearing, we're starting to get back to normal. My hometown's like back to normal for the most part. Mask, don't worry about it. The numbers there aren't necessarily spiking. I think you can be safe. I think you can wash your hands, keep your distance. I think there's a lot of things you can do. I trust the process. I trust that, we'll get back out. I'll be eating at Applebee's at some point in my life again. Maybe not. Maybe I'll take a break from Applebee's, but a Mexican restaurant or Thai food, like pizzeria, Disneyland. I want to get back to that. But I was just starting to be like, okay, all right. Boom. And then numbers started going everywhere. And I always try to go to good, good sources is a weird thing in this day and age of news traveling so fast, but go to like a CNN or something like that. Even though I do believe there's agendas in literally anyone reporting news, I try to go to the most legit, most pure sources, right? And I guess which should mean I should go back in time to the McNeil Lair hour on PBS, and I'll look for that. And I know there's always something behind the stories. I get it. But what's the harm in being cautious? I don't see that. And that's the hubris I don't understand from those who are like, F it, I'm getting back out there. I understood. And again, I think you can, I was at Disneyland the last week it was there. You guys have heard me tell this story. I felt safe there. I really did. I know some people probably got it there. There was probably some people with it, but I felt we were all aware of it enough, and we weren't. This is before masks and everything. But I felt okay. I don't know if I'd feel that now. I had trouble going to get my haircut today. I really did. And he had a mask. I had a mask. A lot of things up. A lot of procedures in place. He had a whole wall of here's the things I'm doing. I just felt weird about it. And then, I wasn't going to shave my head completely down. More mentally, not morally, but mentally, I'm not there yet. I know physically my hair is saying I'm there, but I'm holding on. It was just tough. It was tough. And it just got me thinking of just like, what happens when they say, cut the ribbon back to normal? I might still give it a year. I don't know. I just, and then again, Jason Humphreys in chat, the hump says, well, the virus is still a threat. We need to stay careful. Yeah. I just be careful. I don't understand. I have friends. I'm arguing with friends. This is one of the, I have pulled the plug on my active involvement in social media, and it's a weird time to do it. I'm completely aware of that. It's a weird time to do it. But my podcasts are still going. My voice is still in the world, right? But I just have pulled back because it's just, I can't, the swirl of rage and emotions and lack of comment. And there's great things that happen by this, in these times, and there's great things that happen through social media. You couldn't convince me otherwise. I totally behind that. But I can't even go on Facebook anymore. I got friends, again, they're acting like they're winning the Revolutionary War by not wearing a mask. And I'm not even saying that a mask is the be all end all of protection, but I'm just saying, put your muskets down. Queen of England ain't coming to your town. Don't tread on me with your masks. Just calm it down. By the way, apologies to the hump in our live chat, who is from the UK. Sorry to bring up that war. Let's go to some pre-selected questions on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Napzok. We go to some questions there. Usually we have a few days, at least maybe a week ahead of time to collect the questions. So I apologize to my Patreon supporters. This was happened fast, but you all came through. And then I was gonna record at a certain time. If you're listening later, this doesn't matter to you at all. But I was gonna record a little bit later, and then that silly Star Wars Schmodown thing got in the way, and I was trying to watch. It's a sham. I'm telling you, it's not storyline. I absolutely believe they were trying to get me out of that game. My questions were weird. The grammar horrible as always. These questions today in this match this week were like, what's Han Solo's name? And the questions I were getting were like, when Han Solo looks to the skies, what does he dream about? Essay only answer, please. 11 seconds. It just drives me crazy. I remember it was a fun sketch show. All right, pre-selected questions. By pre-selected, I mean I think I'm just going to read them all. Graham Butler, who's live in chat right now, at least while I'm recording, says, how much was your haircut and did it include medical insurance? Well, I touched upon that a little bit. Did not include medical insurance. I have medical insurance, but I don't trust it with what's going on. I'm a freelance guy. I get sick and I miss work. If I can't do one day of podcasting, that dramatically changes what my what bills I cover. And I'm happy with the life I live. I'm all for it. I'm where I want to be, but that's what the scary part is. So that's another reason I'm being extra careful. And another reason why I get upset at some friends, and I have some close friends that just want to say F you, because they're like, I'm fine. I don't, my immune system's great. Awesome. Great. And the idea that I understand that like if I get it, I'd probably be okay. I'll probably be okay. I understand that, but I'll miss time. I'll miss work. And then what are you going to do? You're going to pay my bills during that time? I'm clean. If you're watching me live, I like dropped something in my laptop and now it's like a piece of a granola bar. Granola? Did I say granola? Granola. Just challenge my Schmodown answer. Did I get a shoulder massage as part of the haircut? Asked Trey. No, I'd like that though. I'd like that. I've never been to Japan. I want to get to UK first, specifically London first. And when I finally get out of the country, it's going to be a while. I'd love to go to Japan for the haircuts. I know a lot of you think I'm weird, but the ASMR haircut world, just the ASMR haircut world, goes deep into the Japanese style haircuts. They're amazing. Includes a deep ear cleaning and ear massage. Sign me up. Not that I keep up on it, but and the massages and everything. Yeah, I don't get that. There's a company out here. I don't know if you guys have them wherever you are listening right now in the world. I think it's called Sports Clips, not a sponsor. And it is totally just that marketing to the dumb men in the world, and I'm including myself in there because I used to go there all the time before I left my old job at the mall. There was one across the street from my mall, Sports Clips, and you go in there and it's like sports on TV, ladies giving you haircuts. And I felt so. I mean, hopefully these girls were getting good enough tips. I don't know, but they'd always, these girls, go to beauty school, get their license, and then they go get a job, and they got to go to Sports Clips, where some like 52-year-old guy is there in like a polo shirt tucked into his jeans with runner sneakers on. I'd like a haircut and a massage. God, oh man. So I used to go, but it was good. And they used to take that machine on you, and it's good. But I go to an older guy in downtown Burbank now, Richard's Hair Salon, a haircut. And I'll tell you what, Graham, I don't mind sharing my finances. My haircut, Graham, was $14 plus change. All right, solid in this day and age. So Zach Anderson live in chat says, I unfortunately used to go to Sports Clips before I gave up and just had my mom buzz cut my head. And Trey says, dude, Sports Clips wants to pander to me. I'm good with it. Yeah, it's not the idea of a man needing a haircut and watching sports while he does it. That's not bad at all. It was good. I used to go there. For like 6 years. It was fine. But it's without a doubt, they're trying to, you like meat trucks and Screwing ladies, go get your hair cut. It's calm it down a little bit there. Sports clips. Calm it down. Graham Butler asked a second question. Well, all right, we'll allow. I like Graham. He says Star Wars Squadrons, insta buy? And why is the answer yes? Star Wars Squadrons, new video game coming out from Star Wars. We've got that. We have got that covered on ForceCenter. The game's coming out in October. It's a Star Wars space battle in the sky type of thing. You're flying the ships. If you're not a Star Wars fan, that's all you need to know. X-Wings, TIE Fighters, you're flying them. So that makes me excited. I don't like the first person aspect of the game because I'm not good at first person video games, but that's just me. It's probably not you. So it's exciting because it's Star Wars and it's story. And Ray Sloan was a great character, appears to be in it. Harrison Dula, great characters in it. And it's like $40. It's the price of 3 haircuts for me. Just or one if you're going to Sport Clips. That's why you should be excited, Graham. It's Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars fan, take a shot. Hey, in live chat here, Brady Dugas is here. Darth Pickles, we call him sometimes too. Brady, you had sent me a care package of Nolans food seasonings. A lot of good stuff in there. But the thing I love, and I'm almost running out of it, I'm gonna order some, is that it was like a cayenne pepper, the garlic cayenne pepper Tabasco sauce, I believe it was. Greatest thing ever. I put it on everything. Ask Grace. I put it on everything. Live chat question coming in here from Tamor. Says, quick question, Ken. Have you been sanitizing your packages, wearing gloves and using a letter opener when sorting through your paper mail? No. And I know. Grace will tell you I should. She's not wrong. Tamor, you're not wrong. I'm okay. I also eat food. If I drop it onto the Applebee's table, I'll eat it. Like a French fry falls off, I eat it. It's worked out okay for me. Jason Humphreys, the hump, we call him here. That's not an insult. That's a term of endearment. The hump. I can't wait to share a pint with the hump one day over in the UK. What is your least favorite cover version of a great song? I'm not overly fond of Britney Spears' version of I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Speaking of the Stones, Guns N' Roses' version of Sympathy of the Devil wasn't well loved either. I kind of feel disappointed in myself. I was going to try to look this up because I don't have an immediate answer. This is a great question. I love cover songs. But I was trying to think of bad cover songs, and I think I got it. I want the world to know I'm a Britney Spears fan. I think she did another bad cover. I don't want to pick on Britney. She did. I don't want to play it because I'll get flagged on everything in the world. She did a cover of I Love Rock and Roll, most famous, of course, by Joan Jett. And I love that song. It's a great song. And I'm a Britney fan. I'm a Britney Spears fan. I'll say it. As Amanda McCougar would say, hey, Vegas, we're just getting started. And I respect Britney as just as a person who went through some crazy stuff. And I made my jokes too. We all made those jokes back when she shaved her head and went crazy. And then when you stop and think about it, I think we all would have done that. I don't fault her for anything. And she's an entertainer. And she put, the goal of life is to find something you love and be great at it and be successful and maybe make some money. I think she succeeded at that. But yeah, so I'm not picking on Britney. That's all I'm going to say here. But yeah, her cover of I Love Rock and Roll could have been better. Could have had some grit to it. It didn't have it. The hump. I'm going to research that. Maybe come back later in another show, maybe 5 extra minutes, because I know there's probably a better answer. And I saw your question, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to run down a list in my head of some things," and then I didn't do it. I forgot to do it there. Lauren Romo says, "I'll say this: working in a hospital-based office, as long as you're washing your hands regularly, and there's not a need to sanitize packages and whatnot. That's just my opinion." See, there you go. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to fault. If Tamor wants to wash his packages, take a Amazon box in the shower with him, I'm not going to fault him. Grace and I have been having very safe social distance fire pit sessions with friends, and like small group, like 1 or 2 people at a time. We stay far away. We let them through the garage or a side door. They don't go in our house unless they absolutely have to go to the bathroom. We all stay. They usually bring their own drinks in a cooler. But we've been just to get human contact again, and I recommend it. It's been very healthy for everyone involved. But we've been wearing masks. But usually, what happens when they come over, we settle in. We'll take the masks off. We're far enough away. Everything's fine. Well, one of my friends showed up, and she had, quite frankly, she ordered it from Lithuania, and it was awesome. It's like a plastic shield mask, like a see-through steel mat. It's part of a hood, and it like zips in. She looked like a Jedi or a Sith or something. And she was like embarrassed. She was like, "Is this too much?" I was like, "No, be comfortable with what you want to be right now." And I think as long as it's on the side of caution, if it's the other way and you're hugging us and trying to high five us and you're walking in our house coughing on everything, that's the problem. Old Handsaw says, wash that package if it makes you feel good. Tamor, wash that package. Wash your package, Tamor. Old Handsaw also says Gal Gadot and Friends, Imagine. Yeah, it wasn't the best. Live in chat, Trey says, Ken's defense of Britney and the Spice Girls is endearing. Well, thank you. Thank you. Tamor says those packages are great company during my showers. Tamor's also asking for the link of that hot sauce. Someone else maybe drop it in there. I can't do it right now during the live stream. This is what we do here at TNF in session. Next question. Coming down the pipeline, going back to my hair, that was big. It was on my daily Discord. We talked about it on the Patreon page. Get in there if you're a Patreon member and haven't jumped into the Discord. Get there, man. It's part of the biggest draw of my Patreon page. Since you just got your haircut, asked Donald Long, why not ask what do you look for when getting a haircut, as in place, style, any interesting stories? As far as I go, well, I haven't had it trimmed in 6 months. I haven't had short hair in 10 or so years, and don't plan on going back as long as I have hair. Yeah, Donald shared a picture in the Discord server of him, short hair, young Donald, and now he looks like a rugged mountain man with some beautiful long locks. Don't do it, Donald. If when I had my hair long at like 20 and I cut it after high school, after I grew it, that was the thing I wanted to do. And I cut it. I thought I'll be back. Then I got a job where I couldn't grow my hair long. Got the ScreenJunkies job. I was able to grow it. But by then it wasn't the same. I didn't have as much. I had luxurious hair. Oh my God. You guys wouldn't believe it. Hair down to my belt line almost at one point. At some point you got to adapt and trim or everything, but I would have gone a lot longer. If I'd known that I was going to, there was some science on the side of me probably losing my hair, but, if I'd known it would happen that fast, or that I was going to get a job where I couldn't even grow facial hair, let alone long hair for 17 years, most of 17 years, I would have kept it longer, Donald. So what do I look for in getting a haircut? I tell you what, I look for a place. I look for a place where I'm comfortable. I'm a creature of habit and routine. So sometimes finding a new place to get things done, dry cleaning, shopping, all those things can be a challenge for me. But once I get through, and then I just, and I've jumped around different haircut places over the years, but I haven't had like a person, right? Haven't had like the guy. Now there was a company called Major Faders, with a Z on the end of that Faders. Great guy Terrence ran it, and they opened up in the mall I was working at, the Northridge Fashion Center. It was a kiosk type of thing, like a barbershop. 6 stations, fully operational, fully functional, shaves, everything you need. And Terrence is this great guy, and we started chatting, and how do I say this? How do I say this as least awkward as I can at these times? Me, a advancing on middle-aged white male, was not the dominant demographic that Major Faders was looking to get, but it wasn't like exclusive. It was just like generally what it was, if you know what I mean. But I was like, I want in. And I got some of the best haircuts of my life. And that was the first time I felt I had people. And Terrence would go through employees. He was a great boss. He was very, very demanding, very strict in the best ways. He was he and his wife were ex-military, so thus Major Faders. And every person he brought in, they had the skills, they had the business skills, they had the people skills. They didn't, they'd go. So every time I got a haircut, it was great. And that's some of the it carried over, and I'd still go there. And some of the early Collider stuff, if you go back and find it, some of those haircuts were Major Faders. And then it just got too hard for me to drive back out, head on out to Northridge. My comic shop's out there, but I had to coordinate everything. And then Terrence wasn't there as much because he was opening up another spot. And then now they're gone. And this is even before the lockdown. They're gone. So I don't know what happened. I lost contact with them. That was some of the best haircuts I've had. So that's what I look for. That connection, comfort level, the comfortability factors is big with me. Comfortability, that's a word. And then I switched to this place downtown Burbank that I could walk up to, and that was it's a weird spot, but this guy knows how to do some stuff that's kind of okay with what I have left of my hair, and I'm comfortable. That's what I want. Comfort. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. So that's that. Jason Humphrey says, enjoy your hair while you can. It's all too soon. All too soon, it's gone. That's a great question, Donald. Old Handsaw, who's live in chat, says, what are some of your favorite music box sets? Any recommendations? This is going to be disappointing. I'm a big fan of music, as you all know, not just Spice Girls or Britney Spears. Big fan of music. I don't own a box set. There's nothing I have in my collection that's a box set, unless you count the Star Wars music released in the mid-90s. I mean, that counts as a box set. I don't. Sorry, Old Handsaw. I really don't. So I can't even make recommendations. And there's been some great box sets. There's been a lot of box sets that I looked for and I've been like, ooh, that's interesting. Maybe I'll give that a try. It's $62. I'm good. Yeah, Kyle Harlow says not even Ronnie Ron and the Ron Band's box set. I might make an exception for that. I'll talk about that on the afternoon. So Josh, Ken, and Amanda. Compilations. Old Handsaw follows up and says compilations. Yeah, I'd have to pull those out though. This is a memory test question, Old Handsaw. Because I don't have any of my CDs out. They're all in boxes now. I have no CDs at my disposal. So there's a lot of compilations I picked up in my collecting days, but I don't have them. Yeah, man, I feel as though I've let you all down on the music questions because it's just like playing that game of memory. We'll come back to it maybe. Alice Wadsworth. I swear I can read today. I need to take a sip of water. Alice, we call her Star Wars Alice. What are some of your go-tos to stay sane in this crazy time in the world? The unplugging of social media was something beyond just the crazy time in this world. That was something that's been on my mind for about a year now of just what am I getting out of this? Why am I here? Business wise, I have to promote. Right now, numbers wise, everything's okay, but I'm not gaining anything. I'm not talking about followers. I'm talking about downloads, the things that matter to my pocketbook, my career. So, that's been a different thing. But outside of that, it's the little moments, man. Just taking the small victories. Like I said, Grace and I starting to invite people by the house for 1-on-1 or 2-on, 2 4-on-4 fire pit sessions was big. It's been big for me to just kind of, I am not a social butterfly, but I miss and love, I love the people I love and I miss them. So I want them by to talk about life, the universe, everything, or just throw baseball cards in a fire, which is what I've been doing. God, had to break that to my dad. My dad's like, I got some baseball cards here in storage. You want me to bring them down? Like, these got to be worth something. I was like, Dad, I'm literally dropping boxes of baseball cards in my fire pit. They're worth nothing. I go through them. I do go through them and pull out things I like. So it's those kind of things. I have been not learning to cook, but I've been challenging myself to stretch my cooking wings. That's going really good. Just today, I was supposed to be setting up, I was paying my taxes, finishing up that, setting up my Real ID appointment, trying to get that going. And then I got sidetracked by watching videos on how to bake enchiladas. That's where I'm at right now. That's helping me, Alice. Little things to connect with. Jeff Wood, the overhead wire. I love that name. Jeff Wood says, do I have any thoughts on LA architecture? Dingbats, bungalows, palm trees. What are dingbats? I mean, I know I'm a dingbat. What's dingbats in terms of architecture? Dingbats apartments? I'm looking this up. Dingbat building, type of apartment building that flourished in the Sun Belt region of the United States in the 50s and 60s. Boxy 2 or 3 story apartment houses. Wow. We just learned something new. I'm 71 years old and I just learned this. Homes with parking underneath. Wow. Jeff Wood is also saying, he's got PDF of favorite online recipes. Post them in the Discord, Jeff, because I do want them. Tommy Terry Green's here live in chat. He's been working hard on the companion. Folks, if you don't know what the companion is, look it up. They got a Kickstarter going. Interesting little thing for sci-fi fans going. And, stay tuned. Hopefully get something going there on that with my involvement there. Lauren Roma says, enchiladas, speaking my language. So Graham Butler says dingbat just means idiot over here. Now, dingbat, that means the same here, but I've never known it. Jeff Wood teaching me something. So my thoughts on LA architecture. I'm not like an architecture fan, right? But I love the stuff around here. I love the 1930s bungalows. Now, my parents' house that we live in now, which we moved into in 95, so we had some other houses that I grew up in, but they moved into a house in 95, and I moved to LA in 98. They're still there. It was a house built in 1932. Got that Spanish style kind of bungalow feel to it. Original, family built, family owned. They're the first non-members of the family to rent it. Own it. They bought it. I love that kind of stuff. I love little courtyards. And I'm telling you, I don't think I'd sit in them. I don't think I'd come in and enjoy sit by a bird bath on a bench. I'd like to think I would, but I like that they're there because my parents have that too. And I think Grace and I want to get a bird bath. We want to get a bird bath. Hummingbird feeder didn't work out so good. The crows maybe scared off the hummingbirds, but we can get a bird bath. But I like that kind of style. Dingbats. Now that I know that term, I don't like them, but I'm mesmerized by them. They're so bad. The design, it is boxy. They're not good. But they are such a staple of LA. Wow. That's crazy. I'm going to study them. I do like some of the more classical designs around here. So the old Hollywood designs. We have a lot of them there. Frank Lloyd Wright, correct? Not Weber, right? Frank Lloyd Wright and Frank Lloyd Wright Jr. Again, not an expert on this, but designed a lot of houses in the area. The Black Dahlia House, not where Black Dahlia was found, but the Black Dahlia House is one of those. And right, okay. Jeff Wood, I have a feeling Jeff Wood likes architecture. Frank Lloyd Wright and Frank Lloyd Wright Jr., correct? Right? It's all of it. My old friend, my old writing partner, we are still friends. I made that seem like we're not friends. Matt Key, you all know and love and should follow, and I think he's launching a podcast soon. We used to go write at his boss's house, who was a successful commercial director from England. And that guy's name, whose name was Guy, would leave for long stretches of time for work and everything with the family. And Matt, part of his job is like his assistant and writing assistant and everything, was to house sit. And we go up there, and we weren't raging having parties, but like the four of us, our writing team, would go up there, and it was an actual Frank Lloyd Wright, and I want to say it was Frank Lloyd Wright Jr., but it could just be Frank Lloyd Wright. But it was not only one of his houses, but it was like on the list of like historically preserved houses. Like, this stays top shape, got it type of houses. And it was like my favorite thing ever. Loved it. Our house now, built in 1920. Not 27, not the 20s. Built in 1920. And it's really quirky. It ain't the best at times. I think you could tell it was moved. They built it in 1920. They moved it to Burbank in 1944. And I really like it too. And it's got the backyard. It's got, if you guys have seen some of my stuff on the backyard, like, it's got a quirky backyard full of personality, a little courtyard out there. And I love that kind of stuff. I talked more about architecture than I thought. Than I thought I would. I like that. John Mariano says, time to get personal. Pancakes, French toast, or Belgian waffles. Waffles, what toppings, if any, paired with which breakfast meat? Bacon or sausage? I'll generally go bacon. I do love both. Scrambled eggs over any other kind of egg. Pancakes. If I have these choices, I do enjoy French toast. Actually, I actually probably enjoy French toast as a concept more. It's just usually I'll be down for 2 days, just napping in a coma. Pancakes too. I always think I like pancakes more than I do. Then when they're on my plate halfway through, it's a problem. Pancakes, but pretty simple. Now, I do enjoy like a boysenberry, a whipped cream, maybe a fruit topping of some kind of sort. But I like it simple. Pancakes drizzled with so much syrup on it that you can't even see the pancakes. And I know people say, don't put the syrup on pancakes. Have a little cup nearby. Do a dip. Preserves the pancakes. I respect that science. I respect that strategy. I just dump it all on there. Dump it all on there. All right. We've got Pete Rich, who's also in chat. I just found out the other day that Dunkaroos are back in stores. Are you as excited as I am about that? Dunkaroos? What are Dunkaroos? Why am I, the cookies. Thinking dungarees. Snack food from Betty Crocker. We're just learning a bunch of things today. No, I do remember Dunkaroos. Never really had them. I got to tell you, Pete, I'm a cookie guy. You know, I love my cookies. Don't remember trying a lot of Dunkaroos, but now that they're back, I'm excited about this. Now I can try them. I don't know why. I never found them. Never found them. There we go. Jeff saying that we shape our buildings. Thereafter, they shape us. Winston Churchill or Admiral Raddus, one of the two. I like that. I like that we got some architecture talk here. I'm fascinated by it. I love going for a drive and seeing all the different houses. And then I do that thing. Do you all do that thing? Especially if I'm walking in the neighborhood. I got Grace to admit that she does this too. If we're walking, it's like 7:30 at night. We're going for a walk in the neighborhood, and we look like into your house, and your living room light is on, and your curtains are open. I judge you, number one, how you got your house designed, and two, I daydream about what it'd be like to live in that house. It's kind of weird. It's like a weird thing, a weird invasion of their privacy. Hey, you have a weird picture up, but I wonder what I would do if I was in there. I don't know. Final question here, Graham Butler. Again, Graham, he paid for it, though. He pays for 3 questions. England just announced pubs will be open from the 4th on. Scotland have said 15th. How soon would you go to a bar after they reopen? I'm waiting at least 2 weeks. No joke, might be waiting months. I just have to, like, Grace and I have been waiting to go to the LA Zoo. We're members of the LA Zoo now. We haven't been able to go since we became members. they announced, and I respected the LA Zoo. They said, we have permission to open from the city. We've been cleared. Like it was like June 10th. They said, we're not doing it. We're going to wait. We're going to get our procedures right. We're going to make sure everyone's safe, the animals, the workers, the customers. We're going to wait, maybe July. And they didn't even give a date. They just said maybe late July. And that gave me confidence. Oddly enough, that made me go, they're thinking about it. I love Disneyland. And I was there. I tell you, I just felt okay at Disneyland. I didn't feel unsafe, but it was early on in the pandemic. It was early on before maybe we understood, before the numbers were smacking us in the face. But I'm not going back for a while. I want to. I want to go back to Galaxy's Edge tomorrow, but I won't. Again, just on the idea of why not be cautious? What do you have to lose by waiting just a little bit? I'm not talking about the bigger, serious discussions of the economy and finances and jobs and businesses. I understand it. It's none of this is easy. None of this is easy. I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home and survive, but I'm not rushing back. Now, I'll order food all day. We've been supporting our local Mexican restaurant, Thai food. We've been doing it all, trying to order a meal a week. But I'm not going back in those restaurants yet. Ranch Donald in chat says the bar down the street was jam-packed and not one person had a mask inside. Yeah, and see, that is my thing. And again, you don't quite know even know when the numbers will spike from that. Because 2 weeks from now, everyone at that bar could be fine. And then they're going to champion that, like, see, everything's good. And maybe they're right. But 2 months after this, they might not be. And I don't know. I'm hearing some reports. Hey, a lot of the protests, the Black Lives Matter protests, a lot of people together, mask on, some masks off, doesn't matter. A lot of people together, not a lot of numbers right now. That may be that may hold. That may hold because people wearing masks or whatever it might be. 2 to 3 months, we might look back and go, no. Again, we're at Disneyland and fine. Me, Grace, and our friends, we're fine. We know someone who went like 2 or 3 days before us. Not fine. I don't want to base any of my actions on, and this is a lesson maybe for life too. I'm not saying I'm a say. I'm not Yoda the space frog. I don't want to base any of my actions just on my immediate circle. I factor that in. We all should factor that in. Naturally, you're going to factor that in. But I'm fine. It's akin to being like, I know that guy's doing a bad thing. I'm not. It allows for other things to happen that are bad. So make decisions based on a bigger picture when you can. So you never know. You know, I'll tell you what, we've been pretty locked down here in Burbank. When I went to get my haircut today, I had a mask on. But half the people walking around, and we're supposed to have these masks on in California. And I don't, right now the police aren't going to pull you over and cite you. They don't want to get in that mess, and I don't think they should, quite frankly. That puts them in a horrible spot. But people walking around, half of them no masks, and then one lady. This is the first time in the 4 months or whatever we've been locked down. And I haven't gone out a ton, but I'm usually the one going out for supplies and everything. Like a lady scoffed at me. Audibly made a point. She was getting in her car on the sidewalk, and I'm coming down the sidewalk with my mask on. Wasn't even looking at her. And she did a scoff. And if she also did it just like when I was 3 steps past her. And it's one of those things is like if she had done it a little more direct to me, and I could be 100% sure, because there's 2% chance she was scoffing at a crow above her, and I agree with that. I scoff at crows all the time. But if it was to me directly, we might have had a confrontation. I probably would have kicked her car, maybe a window out. I've done that. I punched a car once. It almost hit me in a crosswalk. Punched the back of it. Not saying I'm proud of it. The car was dented. All right, we're going to take a quick break. But if you're watching live on the unlisted YouTube link, stick around. And if you're watching a little bit later on the YouTube link, stick around. I'm going to switch files here, and we're going to go to part 2 of TNF in Session. I believe the 14th episode of this. Damn crows always take my plants, says Jeff Wood, and he's not wrong. Be right back after this here on the Napzok Files. TNF in Session. All right, friends, stick around. Let me just get this file saved, and then go ahead and get another file started. It's a file shuffle. We call that the file shuffle. Makes it easy for Anchor, and we'll do that. Also got a backup here on the Roadcaster, should that go away. So, and that's happened. I've had some GarageBand mishaps. How y'all doing? I'll give you a couple minutes here. Grumpy Ken says the hump. Assuming you're wearing a Star Wars mask, maybe she's one of those. No, you know what, Pete? I wasn't. I didn't. I have 1 or 2 masks that aren't Star Wars. Both of them from my friends at Dead Celebrity. And no, it wasn't. It was like an American flag. Not like an American flag. It was like the red and purple kind of stripy looking flag looking one. You know. No, not wearing my Vader mask. Good news, says Graham. My Dead Celebrities mask finally landed in the UK. Not here with me, but at least it's in my country. Yeah. Well, you know, you have a chance to wear it. The lockdown's going to go. Yeah, Alice says, I've gotten looks for my Vader mask and thumbs up too. If you're watching this on YouTube a little bit later, my friends at Dead Celebrity, I'll try to drop a link in here. They sell some great masks. I think you can still use the code Napzok20 and you'll get 20% off of any order. But yeah, it's been good. So head there if you want. Jason Humphreys, the hump, he's got to go. See you, Jason. See you, the hump. All right, we're going to come back here. Do some backup recordings. Are you ready? Let's go. And we're back here on TNF in Session. Thank you for sticking around through the breaks. Check out those shows. We're profiling a lot of shows from great people out there in the world that aren't me. There's other shows out there. You shouldn't just be listening to my stuff. I know you're not. But give them a check. Lauren Romo and her Galactic podcast. Octo Radio from our friend Alden Diaz. Check out Kojak's music and live Twitch stream. And more. Going to be moving those in and out of rotation. And a lot of those folks are from my Patreon page. And I just support all they're doing. So check it out. All right, we have the pre-selected questions. The first thing I want to do, though, is give a shout-out to my executive producer supporters on Patreon. That includes Thomas Risling, Lethal, Logan X, The Great Bedore, Matt Thompson, Taymor of House Buddha, Nathan Overdale, Zach Anderson, he's all right, Ty Schallenberger, Chad Benefield, Tommy Terry Green, Jonas Bergen, Andrew Steiner, Star Wars Ramblings, Old Handsaw, Zach Taylor, and Donald Long, Ranger Donald, with his beautiful, luxurious hair. They make a lot of things possible. They invest in me, so I try to invest back in all of them. But honestly, they really do make all of this possible. All of my Patreon supporters do, and I appreciate it. If you want to support, go to patreon.com/CatNapzok. You get bonus content like KZok Radio, 5 extra minutes, a monthly bonus show. You get, if I get my ass in gear, you get personalized motivations, postcards. I think I owe a few now. All those kind of things. Top tier supporters last year received a copy of my book, Why We Love Star Wars, personalized. I've got some extra, this is silly. I've got some extra Pit Boss, not even 8x10s. I think 6x9s from the Schmodown. That silly thing. I do love the Schmodown. I give it some crap, but I love it. Last year, they released some photos and said, I had to sign a bunch. MF5 came over to my house, and Grace and I had to like sign a bunch of them, and they were sending them to Schmodown Patreon supporters. Then they gave us like an extra stack of them and said, if you want to sell them at live events or something, go for it. And I did, and I had a lot of fun at that Schmodown downtown LA, Schmodown extravaganza, bonanza, Schmodown swap meet, whatever it was. Sold a lot of copies of my book and met a lot of great folks. And I do love the live events. As much crap as I'll give the Schmodown, I do love the live events, meeting folks, pressing the flesh, all that good stuff, and just meeting good, fun, quality people. But I have these photos. I don't know what to do with them. I don't want to sell them. I think I might give them out to high-tier Patreon supporters. I have to count how many I have left. The reason is it's not like a headshot. I was there one day at the Collider Studios. They were doing a big Schmodown taping, and they were taking these photos, like on a white screen background, fancy photos, pretty pictures of pretty people. They didn't have me scheduled for that day. No one had said to me, "Hey, can't." So I think Cam Rice, who's a good cat, turns to me and says, "Hey, I got to take these photos. You want one in there?" And I'm like, "Sure." I'm in like a hoodie. I do love the hoodie. It's one of my favorite articles of clothing. I miss wearing it. I wish it would get cold again. It's a black and white hoodie with a little zipper thing. It's cool. I think in UK they call those jumpers, right? No, I don't know. I had that on, and then I had like an iced tea because during Schmodown tapings, it's tradition when we do them at Collider on a Saturday. Mark Ellis and I, to escape the madness, would sneak off to a local chain coffee restaurant place, and we'd each get some beverages, and I would get a large iced tea. And so that's the photo. I just jokingly stood in front of the camera and took a sip of this, and it's got like the ordering label with my name on it. It's really weird. And that's the photo they went with. I didn't improve it. I had a hat on, so my hair looks really bad. But I have pictures of it. So Patreon people might get it. All right, this just in. Ken learns a lot. I've learned what a dingbat really is. Reminded myself, I should say, what a dunkaroo is. Now, Graham Butler reminded me a jumper is a sweater over in the UK. Okay. Hoodie is a hoodie. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. I got a couple jumpers then. How do they come to the term jumper? Because I've always been familiar with the term. For whatever reason, About a Boy, one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite books, About a Boy, Hugh Grant, Toni Collette, they got that scene, and Nicholas Holt's voiceover is like, my mom wore that cool jumper. I'm like, what's a jumper? Sweater. Jeff Wood says, ugly Christmas jumper. Yeah. Graham Butler adds, vest is underwear. I don't get that. I got to get over there. I just got to get over there. I really miss my British gardening shows too. You guys don't know how lucky you are to just be able to watch the British gardening shows, Monty Don and the like. I don't have them over here. Netflix has one season of Love Your Garden with Alan Tishmark. It's the greatest show in the world. One season. One more. I might move to London just to watch British gardening shows on the regular. I'm thinking of this. I don't know if I'll ever move from LA in full, but if I ever have like a winter or summer residence, the UK is in the running just so I could watch the gardening shows and have an English garden, like an actual English garden. Do you have those over there? Jeff Wood says, okay, and get a VPN. What's a VPN? Now you're throwing more terms at me. Kyle Harlow knows the reference to About a Boy because Hugh Grant says on the other side of that, and the mother was wearing some sort of Yeti costume. Love that movie. LQ is here. L's got a great question, but why is it called a sweater? You don't sweat in it. All right. That's fair. That's fair on us, on our end. I don't understand where a lot of this Yeah, Graham wants to know why it's called sweater. Why is it called a jumper? I don't understand why it's called a jumper. I understand why you call an elevator a lift. I understand why you call them chips, not crackers. I don't understand the jumper. Oh, VPN, virtual network. Oh, okay. Well, someone's going to have to explain that science to me. Dark science. Secrets only the Sith knew. Virtual networks. At least my internet's good. We're almost done here. I'm wrapping up here, but I want to take some questions live from the audience. All right. This has been a lot of fun. This is what we do here in TNF in session. We just hang out, we chit chat, and I answer questions about British gardening shows and Spice Girls. So if you have any questions live in chat, please go ahead and post them there. We will eventually. What we'll do is I'll throw some StreamYard links up there too to the Discord folks, and I'll have you pop in if you got your mics and your camera ready. But be ready. Be ready. Nothing drives me crazier than can I be on your show and then you only have a Mac inboard mic and you're 7 feet behind it. Be ready. I'm not saying you have to have the Rodecaster Pro, which a great 2.1 update out there right now. The Rode unfollowed me. Rode gave me all this gear. I had a good relationship with some of the marketing people over there. That guy's gone, and Rode has unfollowed me. I literally say I use the Rodecaster Pro daily. All right. Trey asks, what's the worst thing you've eaten out of politeness? Resist the joke. Resist the joke, Ken. I'll tell you, it was a quail egg. Shadow banned by Rode, says Star Wars Ramblings. Quail eggs. Back in the early 2000s, I started to try sushi, right? And I was not adventurous. I'm still not super adventurous with the food. A friend of mine, we're still friends. She lives in the San Diego area with her husband and 2 kids. But at the time, we were friends, but one of those like, will they, won't they? The answer was always going to be won't they, or they won't. But I didn't know it at the time. And so she loves sushi. So I was like, oh yeah, I love teriyaki chicken. She's like, no, we're gonna try sushi. So I did a lot of the stuff, the sashimi and all that kind of stuff, and it's okay. I can hang. I love a good roll. Yeah, I love California rolls, but I also love other rolls. But she was like, you got to try a quail egg. I was like, sure, that sounds great. And it's like a little old hand sauce I ate at Denny's once. I mean, I would have rather been at Denny's. It's got like caviar in it. It's got the kelp around it. It looks like a sushi roll, and it's got a little egg on top of it. And it's like it's a quail egg. And I put it in my mouth, and she just started dying because it wasn't like I couldn't even pretend. My neck was doing this like it was convulsing. My neck was contracting, convulsing, jumping around. It was not good. Not good. So I did that I don't know if it was to be polite so much, but I did that to try to be considered cool. Now I have to give back the Rode. No, I love Rode equipment. I want to know why they unfollowed me. They still follow someone else from the Schmodown world, but they unfollowed me. Lauren Roma says, what are you and Grace binging lately? She does all the TV show watching. I don't watch TV shows. But we'll sit and watch. What have we? Oh, we've been binging Curb Your Enthusiasm. She'd never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's never really even seen Seinfeld, but I just watched season 10 of Curb. She heard me kind of like rant. Oh, it's my favorite show. So glad the show came back because I thought season 9 wasn't the best season of Curb, and I was like, oh, season 10 they come back all those years later, and it's great and blah blah blah. So we went back all the way back to season 1, and we've been watching. And she's enjoying it. She's enjoying it. Even some makes her uncomfortable. I love the show. There's some moments from the show that I don't think they would do now. I don't even consider it problematic because there's a point to everything Larry's doing with it. But the show started 20 years ago. The way we present comedy and some of the phrases and words we might use now, then we don't use now. So there's some moments of Curb that are uncomfortable, but I love Curb, and so she's been watching that. So that's been a lot of fun. After that, we're going to go recatch up with Veep because I love season 4 of Veep is some of the best comedy ever. I just stopped watching it. So that's next on the list. We're season 6 and 7, the final season. I need to catch up with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, one of my all-time favorite shows. I just stopped watching 4 years ago. I just stopped watching things. She watches stuff whatever shows out there, and she's watching it. We watch our ghost shows. We move from British gardening shows to ghost shows. We love Ghost Adventures, Destination Scare or Destination Fright or something. I don't know. She loves them. I really like them. They're a lot of fun. So that's a bad answer to your question, Lauren, but Curb's an answer. Star Wars ramblings. That Andrew. Why must why must the chose? You must choose what? Choose two. Good, cheap, easy rule to apply to IKEA furniture. Yes, I'm currently being outsmarted by an Alex drawer. I'm probably reading the question wrong, but you're being outsmarted by IKEA furniture. Is something I identify with greatly. In fact, this table, the one that's always shaking, you see how it's always shaking? You guys are complaining that I give you vertigo during my live broadcast. I need to get a new one. I need to, Graham needs to build one and send one out from the UK. I did see 30 Rock is coming back, but I don't know the details on it. Love 30 Rock. Ranger Donald says Always Sunny's okay nowadays. To me, they have 1 or 2 great episodes a season now. That's good. I'll take that. I'll take those odds. For a show that's been around that long, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. All right, a couple more questions. Anyone got some questions here? I don't want to just do the hang thing. I my fault for doing this last minute, not having a lot of the pre-selected questions. But I don't want to do the beg for attention shows, but happy to answer your questions because you guys all make it possible. Thank you all that are listening. I do want to give a special shout out. We talked about it in last week's episode of Saturday Night Napzok. Shirts available for that on tpublic.com/user/Cat I do want to give a shout out to the Wangers, and I just love the Wangers. I love working with them. So love their new podcast, The Quarantine Report. If you're not checking it out, I'm telling you, I'm not going to shut up about this. Number one, I'm in the 3rd episode. I think comes out next week. They're so good. They're so good and just great content. And they put so much work into it. And I'll say it. Andrew said, meant to say choose 2. Good, cheap, easy. Good and easy. Cheap and easy. I'll take cheap and easy. I'll go with cheap. Give me more Wang. That's right, Graham Butler. I said that this week. Yeah, Grace was great on it this week. Oh, check out Grace's new podcast, Think Piecing. I just got to say this. I got to say this because no one else is going to say it. The Wangers are putting so much time, effort, and talent into actual content. They do their watch-alongs. They have their podcast. Those are fun things. But they put so much time and effort into actual content. You hear that term, content creator? They're actually doing that. They're shooting these sketches, shooting these short films. They have ideas for more. They have a great set of scripts for a TV show, season 1 of a TV show that I've had for about a year now in my hands. It is a great idea. They just need, Elon Musk needs to drop $1 billion on the sidewalk so they could pick it up and make their content on a bigger, wider level. It's just disgusting to me that they'll put out a podcast episode like The Quarantine Report. And I think they told me, I don't want to embarrass them or anything. The first episode number was so low. And it destroys anything I've done, it destroys anything anyone in my circle's done for a long time in this realm. Not counting Mark Ellis's comedy special, right? But it's up there. It's up there with that in terms of effort, content, passion, love. And man, it drives me crazy that can't get the attention it deserves. So check it out. Check out the Quarantine Report if you're listening. Go to the Wangers on YouTube, Amateur Hour Films. Go to their podcast feed. Give it a listen and tell somebody. I don't, this is where I'm at. I want to do more things myself. I want to get back to writing, blah, blah, blah. I can talk about that all day. But this is me, and this is me until I fade away here in a couple of years, right? This is what I do. They are part of something bigger and something better. And listen to the Quarantine Report. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of what they can do. They're young and they're hungry. Literally, give them a sandwich. We got to figure it out. And it's not just, and they're not just doing super chat shows. They're not doing any of that. They are creating actual content. It just drives me crazy that they can't get the attention. I'm not worried about me anymore. I'm where I'm at. I'm not going to get bigger. Not going to get, I'll probably get smaller at some point when I stop talking about movies. But and I pretty much already do, right? If British gardening shows don't drive my audience away, I think I'm okay. Me defending the Spice Girls doesn't drive people away. I think I'm okay. But I'm not going to grow. They deserve to grow. End of rant. Go support the Wangers. Ranger Donald says they create great content shows, not just money shows. Yes. I have no problem with super chat shows, by the way. I'm on Twitch. Part of that is cheer me and give me a buck, right? It's how I put food on the table. It's a personality thing. I 100% get it and 100% do it. And I've actually encouraged the Wangers to do that more. Do big super chat shows. Build capital to go make your content, but just want more attention on their content. They're great. They are great. They're great. And it's why I get grumpy when, one of the reasons I'm slowly work my way off of Twitter specifically is I get it. I came up with the Schmoes No Movie Show. I came up with ScreenJunkies and Collider. And I actually love the movies that I love. But I don't like I'll get a random tweet. Hey, Ken, what do you think about the new Batman casting? Get out of here. I don't care. Now, the Michael Keaton stuff, I haven't heard it all. I haven't clicked on any story, but it's whatever that is. Sounds great. I don't care. I'm glad you do. I don't. I want to do other things. The Wangers are doing other things. I don't rant much. That's not even a rant. You want me to get really mad? I'll close the show by getting mad at forks. I have dropped so many GD forks on the floor in the last 2 months alone. And you could say it's a user problem. You could say it's user error, that it's on me. I understand that. I accept that. I can get behind the idea that I'm the problem. It's not the forks. But there's something about the forks being unbalanced, oddly curved. The tines are just not, something's off. I cannot tell you how many times in this house, in this very studio, on my couch, that I've gone, made a nice salad, put a fork in, put it deep. I understand. You got to put the fork deep in the dish. We're not just setting it on top. I understand this. I understand the logic behind it. Then I walk to my couch from my kitchen, I walk back here to the studio, and the fork, as if thrown by a ghost, flings out of my bowl. Food everywhere, lettuce, croutons, cheese strips, macaroni, flying. Spoons don't do this. That's my point. You put a spoon in a dish, it sticks, it stays. It's got integrity. It's got staying power. Forks, freewheeling forks. Grace doesn't understand this. She has heard me literally say I hate forks several times from my room. She thinks I'm a crazy person. For fork's sake, says Old Handsaw. Hashtag we hate forks. A lot of talk of sporks in the chat. Ranger Donald and Lauren Roma has thoughts on sporks. Good concept. A staple of my youth with lunches at school. It's a little messy for me. It's reminiscent of like AstroTurf multi-purpose sports stadiums. Was good for an era. Seemed like it was the wave of the future, but has no true character, and in the end, no true purpose. I'll divide them up. I just want better. I just want better from forks. Okay. All right, everybody. That's what we do. This is what we do. It's TNF in Session, a show built by you out on Patreon and me blabbing into microphones. If you want to support me, you can go to @KenNapzok and follow all the things I do, or go to KenNapzok.com. When you're there on KenNapzok.com, you can go to the shop tab if you want. Pick up a copy of my book, Why We Love Star Wars Personalized. I got a few left. I'll worry about those signed Pit Boss pictures. Also, while you're there, though, do me a favor. Go to the charity tab on my website. Check some of the charities we highlight here on the Napzok Files community. I got to add some. If you're listening, you're in my Discord, post something in the charity section, and I'll look at it. I'll vet it. I always say that. I got to vet it if I'm going to put my name behind it, and we'll go ahead and add it to the list there. But right now, Maddie's Pride Project is the highlighted one. It's the top of the page. Pride Month still ongoing, and we're going to be back in that project well after Pride Month. And by well after, I mean forever. But as long as it's going, that Maddie's Pride Project. If you want some theme park Pride ears, $10 of every purchase will go directly to the Trevor Project, and that's highlighted on the website there. That is it for now, my friends. A lot of fun hanging out with you on this special late edition of TNF in Session. Saturday, Napzok will be back this Saturday. Great stuff next week planned too. Special guests popping in on the Napzok Files proper. Thank you all. Be safe, be smart, and hashtag be better, forks. Be better. Bye.